I'm happy to be back in the saddle doing what I do best, which is drinking coffee and talking into a camera. Now, I want to come back to what we were talking about a couple weeks ago where I was talking about stability. So just a quick review is in the body stability is motor control, is the ability for your body to fire the correct muscles, the proper muscles at the right time. So this, my friends, is what we call stability. Now, how can we challenge that in the gym while being successful, but yet kind of struggling, learning as we go along? Sometimes we think about how if you were to walk into a gym and you go to bench press, and maybe that bench press that day for you is 50 pounds, maybe it's 100 pounds, I don't know how many pounds, but you do that. And then you come in the next day, and that was like as much as you could do that. 50 pounds, 100 pounds, that's as much as you could do that day. But then you come in the next day, and you double, you triple that number. And people are like, that's a big jump in weight. But then when we look in the gym and we see people doing a deadlift with both feet flat on the ground, perfect, okay, great. But then they want to challenge themselves more, so they go into the single leg deadlift, and it becomes a train wreck. I mean, it's one of those things where you don't want to watch, but you have to watch because you have to see what happens next. That is a big jump in stability, the lack of stability. That would be like kind of going double or triple up in any of your other exercises in weight. So we have to have those places where we can actually bridge that gap more appropriately. Plus, we have to find ways to challenge, again, that stability, that motor control, to create more of that functional strength in your body. Let's use as an example the squat exercise. Everybody pretty much knows the squat exercise. And we're going to talk about something as a popular squat exercise, that being the goblet squat. So you're holding that kettlebell up and you're squatting. Pretty simple. But the beauty about that is how it actually helps to coach you to stay in a good posture. Because with the kettlebell, if you happen to go too far forward with your trunk, that kettlebell is going to pull you down. So it's a good teaching mechanism, a good teaching tool to use. Well, how much weight can you use holding that goblet until it becomes a little bit counterproductive? It becomes too heavy to hold that it drags you down anyway because of the weight. So what do you do next? Well, I don't know. Maybe I do, if I have the luxury of pairs of kettlebells, maybe I find 2 kettlebells that I can rack and squat. Now, what I want to say is you're absolutely correct. However, that's a big jump in stability if we're talking about kind of the incremental increases in weight in the traditional gym versus stability here in this non-traditional gym. So what we like to do is we like to change implements. We'll go to our ultimate sandbag and we'll find a bigger bag because there we can be a little bit heavier because we're going to go into the bear hug holding position. So now I can afford to use more weight because I've got that bag close to me. It's really close to the midline of my body, that line that separates me up and down right in the center. So holding that bag, I can go into some squats and I can enjoy the benefits of a heavier weight. What happens next? Where's my next progression? Well, in our way of looking at things, we go to what we call a front-loaded position. And then we go to a fist-loaded position. These are all those incremental changes in your stability via your holding position. We go offset. We go onto the shoulder. So in that order is how we would take that. And then we can go back to a double kettlebell racked. We can go 2 kettlebell, 1 offset, so one's heavier than the other. We can go single kettlebell. We can do all these things. Plus, we can enter into an unstable body position. So if I'm going to move from my bilateral squat, which means both feet flat on the ground, and now I'm going to move into a more unstable body position, our first position we like to talk about is our sprinter stance. So if you think about, we just finished the Olympics here, sprinting. It's called the sprinter stance for a reason. It looks like the sprinter is ready to just jump out of the blocks. Well, if I'm going to start introducing an unstable body position, I'm going to bring back a more of a stable holding position. Here our tools matter. We're fitness crafts people. We want to make sure that the job that we do on the floor, that the tools we use are effective, precise, and also applicable to what we're looking for your goals. Now, outside of the squat, we can go into rows. We can go upper body dominance. So as we go into our bent over rows, I can use those same different principles. I can have more of a stable implement by holding on to my ultimate sandbag and rowing with both feet flat on the ground. Perfect. I can move into an offset grip. I can go into a sprinter stance. I can go into a sprinter stance offset grip. I can go into kettlebells. I can go lateral. I can go crossover. I can go single leg. Again, all those different body positions challenge that stability, the ability for your body to fire the correct correct muscles at the right time. And when you're doing that, the beauty of this is you don't have to be loaded so heavily as you would like at a traditional gym, where mainly the variables are, hey, more, heavier, better. That's the way we hammer that in those traditional settings. We're here, sometimes less is more. Less weight, but a different unstable body or holding position. Chef's kiss. All right, there's a lot of talking. Hopefully something happened between now and then. Coffee, cameras, love it. Until next time, you're welcome.